Welcome back, family, to another episode of I'm So Portland, man. Y'all see we got a new little scenery going on. We at the GMP studio, man. I got a special guest, man. We got to get it right for, he's a nutty North native. You feel me? You know, he's really been shaking up the music scene lately. You feel me? So I ain't even gonna say too much, man.
Yeah, Var.
My boy Vari, man. What's good with you?
Pleasure, bro. Appreciate you having me, bro.
For sure, man. The pleasure is mine, my
boy.
boy.
Yeah.
How you been, though?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just creating. I'm in a space of creating, man, and it's blissful. You know what I mean? It's never been better, man. So I'm good. How about you?
I've been so busy, bro, but I can't complain. It's better than not doing nothing, like you said, creating.
Right.
It is blissful though, bro. Like I've been enjoying it, bro. Just all around. But for folks that might not know you, give us a little background about you.
Yeah, my name is Vari, man. I'm an artist. I'm a creative. I'm a visionary. You know, I like to call myself a visionary, man. I do a jack up a lot of trades, and I'm a community activist. I get back to my section, man, and I do it proudly, But yeah, I'm a former Division I athlete. Went through the whole stages of playing ball and going to 6 different colleges and doing that, and then I just kind of found my love in music, and since then, man, I just been creating and trying to see where this takes me,
You say you found your love for music. When did you find it?
I probably started music 4 years ago now. 4 years ago, my brother started rapping about 6 years ago, and I was kind of just going along for the ride, man, just being in the right spaces and just being around music. It was easy to kind of hop into it, man. I had something to say, I had a voice, and people like to hear it. So, yeah.
All right, before we get into the music though, you said you bounced around at 5 different colleges.
Yeah.
What colleges did you go to? Because I know you went to Idaho.
Yeah. So I started off at University of Oregon. I walked on at University of Oregon right out of high school. That team ended up going to the Final Four, and
you was with Pay?
Yeah. So I was on that team with Jordan Bell, Tyler Dorsey, all them dudes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
How was that? That's crazy.
Dope, man. I was a young dude though, man. Super small. It was a walk-on spot, man. So it was one of those things like I knew I wasn't playing, but it was dope to get the experience. And then I think it kind of built back that love for hoop, and I felt that I could really do something with the sport, and I think just getting that motivation by being there and seeing what it could potentially be just kind of inspired me to go off and start my journey, man. And when I left there, I ended up going to a junior college, and that's kind of where my hoop career really started.
After Oregon, you went to a junior college?
Yeah, I went to a school called Cloud County out in Kansas. Middle of nowhere, but it's a really good region, man. It's really good basketball happening out there. Dana Altman, the coach at Oregon, his son had got a coaching job there, so that's why it was an easy transition. Went there for a year. It wasn't rocking with it too much. We just wasn't winning, man. I'm young, trying to go win, man. So I ended up transferring to a different junior college, and then called Sheridan, and that was in Wyoming. So that was my third one, and we. Really good team. We was number 5 in the nation majority of the year. Went to the tournament, went to the national tournament, did what we did. We had like 8 players go to Division I. But then I graduated with my AA, and that's when I went to University of Idaho.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was your final destination?
Nah. So I went to University of Idaho, graduated with my undergrad, did 2 years there, and then I did my grad year in New Mexico.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's where I finished to get my. That's where I got my master's degree out in New Mexico.
Master's. What'd you get your master's in?
Economics.
Economics.
Economics, yeah.
Businessman.
Yeah, something like that. Finance. It all adds up.
Yeah, that's smooth though. Okay. So, but before college, because I remember you say you had found your love again at Oregon.
Right.
So before that though, what made you like kind of fall out of love with it?
It wasn't necessarily that I fell out of love. It was just, reality kind of kicks in. Hard times humble, especially the youth. And I think as we grow older, reality starts to kick in, and it's like I'm 5'10", 3A school. I was 5'10" out of high school, right? Yeah, so 140 pounds, 3A school. I'm nice, but I ain't at a Central Catholic. I'm at a De La Salle. It's the smallest school nobody's ever went and played out of here. So I think that was kind of all setting in. And then it's like, man, I'm doing what I'm doing here, averaging 30 and not getting no looks. You feel me? So it was kind of like, I didn't fall out of it. It was just more so I didn't know what was next. You know, so when that opportunity presented itself, it kind of it snapped me back in motion. Like, okay, I can really do this at a high level. You know?
5'10", so I remember this like it was yesterday. Your growth spurt kicked in crazy. Yeah. Is that what gave you that confidence for real?
Nah, I always had that confidence, man. Yeah. I was a 5'3" with a heart of a lion, you know. So I definitely always had that. It was just more so I started dunking on people and doing my Dougie, you know. So it was easy. It was easy. It kind of just flowed, man. It was where I was supposed to be. You know, it was a line.
That's smooth. I had seen too that being, you know, De La Salle, I had seen that you got your did you get your jersey? Like
yeah.
Retired?
Jersey retired, yeah. That was a special moment, man.
That's
special
crazy.
Moment. Yeah. Not too many people get their jersey retired, you know.
That only like if you go to the league or something.
Right. They retired the name, you know, and I think that's what was so dope about it, man, is that they wasn't just retiring my number, you know what I mean, or what I did at the school. It's like what I do right now and you know how it's played out after that. Oh, hopefully that's not my fault.
My fault.
Okay, you good. but yeah, that's the type of shit that be happening. We human.
Nah, that's good.
Nah, come on, but nah, I mean, so they retired the number, man, and it wasn't necessarily just about what I did at De La Salle. It was what I'm currently doing, and you know how I'm giving back to my community, you know, and I think that's what was so special about it. You feel me?
Yeah.
So
that's dope. Yeah. How did that feel, bro? Like getting your jersey retired and you ain't even have to like do no major accomplishments in basketball like most people.
Right. I accomplished a lot in basketball, but I get what you're saying.
You like
100%. I ain't go to the league.
Yeah.
So
that's the major factor.
Goal. But it felt good, man. You know, I had my family in attendance, my wife, my mom, my brother, and all my coaches that kind of came through it with me, man. So that's my family, and you know, just to be able to say that I got my number retired, you know what I mean? That's something that not too many people are able to do. So I think, you know, just having that under my belt, it's a beautiful accomplishment, but it's also one of them like super humbling things to where like, man, life sets in and reality really hits that type of shit is just obsolete. You know what I mean? It's super dope for the moment, but now it's time to really put the work in. So you kind of you get a sense of like it's humbling, man, for sure. Like what's next? You know, be where your feet are, but what's next?
Yeah.
My
fault. That sounded like hella shade that I threw out. I was even trying to make it seem.
That's real though. That's real though, right? Because again, it's unusual. It's uncommon.
Yeah.
It don't happen too much. So you don't gotta beat around the bush with me, bro. We gonna talk. We gonna talk.
No, for sure, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah. But like you said, you doing music now.
Right.
Why organic? Why organic Vari?
So my name is Vari, right?
Yeah.
Organic is just it's the label. It's the production that we have. Myself, my brother, and a couple of our homies. We just started this thing up, man. Initially when I had started organic, it was more so just again everything comes organic. You know, we don't fake nothing. We rap about what we go through, rap about our lives, and everything that we say on these mics is true to us, man. So when we talk about organic, I know a lot of people had it mixed up with Larry June's movement and whatnot.
That's the first thing that came to my head.
Sure, and that's where everybody's mind goes. But
yeah,
it don't got nothing to do with fruits and vegetables, man. So
yeah. I feel that. That's what's up, bro. But you talk a lot about, you know, growing up on the north side. How was it growing up in the north? Being, you know, we kind of late 90s babies, so it was a different time than it is now. Like, it's obviously the north, you know, is gentrified and whatnot, so it's like, how was it back then growing up in the north?
Right. It was man, it was like everywhere else, you know. I think we all kind of.
It wasn't like everywhere.
So I say this in the sense of like a lot of inner city youth kind of grow up in the same environments, man. When you talk about absent fathers and absent fathers and just, you know, just a lot of violence going around us and you know, things like that. So when I say like everybody else, I mean in the sense of that specifically, the North was, you know, viewed as a dirty place, a grimy place to not go and stay away from, man. But it was so community based, and we were such a tight knit family out there that it never felt like that for me. You know, I feel like everybody had my best interest growing up. So even though there was a lot of violence around me and my peoples, right? It was like I always felt a sense of family and a sense of belonging, and I don't think too many people got to grow up with that. You know, a lot of places are cliquey because they're not the grimy places, right? It's like everybody's on the same playing field over there, you know? So growing up, it was like, man, you ain't better than the next man, and nobody really thought they were. So I think everybody kind of had everybody else under their wing, which you don't see a lot. So I loved it, man. I enjoyed it. I repped the North proudly. And I wouldn't want to be from nowhere else. You know, I love Portland. I think as I got older, it's so crazy because working at SEI, I work at SEI now, and you know, that's a Northeast space. So I'm with everybody from the Northeast, man, and it's just so crazy how similar our experiences were. You know what I mean? And how we grew up so alike, but we hated each other from 5 minutes away, right? And it's like, man, we 5 minutes away from each other, and we didn't like y'all, and y'all didn't like us. So it's just so crazy coming together now as adults, man, and just seeing how corny that was.
That shit.
You know? It was corny for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that 100%.
You from the Northeast?
Yeah, well, I bounce around. I went to Boise, which is obviously like, it's borderline northeast.
Right.
But my aunt, he lived in the north, right down the street from Boise. So I was over there. I was in northeast. Then when I went to high school, I was up in southeast. I went to Douglas.
Okay.
Chuck, and
you was out there.
Yeah, I was out there. So I kind of moved around a lot. I like to say I grew up mostly in southeast for real though. But
Southeast, baby, that's funny, man. You had a similar experience then. Because I feel like people viewed the Southeast in a certain light too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know?
Northeast, southeast. Yeah. It was like a. I wouldn't even necessarily say beef, but it was more like a. I don't even know how like a standoffish type thing, you know.
Right.
So it's like, it was like divided.
Right.
Like how you said, north and northeast.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very similar.
Come on. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's pretty similar, man. It's pretty similar. It's Portland.
Yeah, but I think it was a little different for me, though, because, like I said, I grew up in the Northeast a little bit. So
right.
like, I'm familiar with different people that's, you know, you went to SEI, Truck, Devadre, like,
right.
Stiggs, all of them. You know, I was familiar with everybody, so it was like, people from the Northeast knew me.
Mm-hmm.
I knew people from the Northeast, so it wasn't like anything with me though.
Right.
But the Northeast though is different from the Southeast. I'm gonna say that.
For sure. I think everywhere is different than everywhere. You know what I mean? I think we all kind of, it's different, but it's the same, right? We still want Portland, man. The black community in Portland is super small. And it's one of those things we all deal with the same stuff. You know what I mean? I feel like we are our biggest enemies sometimes, and I think we got to kind of get away from that, man, and just unify. I mean, I think that's what we kind of doing right now. I think it's a dope movement of everybody kind of collaborating, whether that's music, being creative, athletics, whatever that might be. I think it's dope to see that, you know, the young generation, they kind of clashing together, man, and they creating something special.
For real.
Yeah.
We was talking earlier about, you know, you being in, getting on the back end, the production side of things.
Yeah.
What made you want to do that?
So I started doing video for my brother, and I was just kind of, I picked up the camera before I picked up a mic, you know, and I think
for real.
I was, again, I think it's all synonymous, man. When you talk about sports, when you talk about like anything creative, it all goes hand in hand, right? Like, this is how I express my creativity. I felt the easier way to express my creativity was through the video, just through my edits, through my visuals. I think with my visuals, I like to move people, I like to touch people. So whether that's the audio behind the visual, everything has to align with how I want people to view my visual, right? So I think that's what has sparked an interest in me early. So I started that before I started the music. But once I got into the music, I just started recording myself and, you know, doing all my visuals. I just wanted to make. I wanted my brand to kind of just be high quality through and through. So everything I do, I want it to be high quality. So I have to invest in equipment. You got to invest in that back end. So that's why I think I started that, and that's what has kept me going with it.
So you was investing in yourself, and you didn't even really know that at the beginning.
For sure.
As far as like the production side of things.
Yeah, and I think it's important, man. Any artist has to know how to record themselves, right? Like, content is everything right now, and I think Without content, man, you're not gonna make it. You got to market and brand yourself the right way. So, man, if you're an artist and you haven't, touched that back end, the visual side of things, get into it ASAP.
Do you have anybody that helps you with that, or?
For sure. I mean, I've gotten to the point now to where a lot of my stuff isn't recorded by me, just because
Okay.
you gotta grow. But yeah, I got a few of my partners that kind of take over that now. One of my dogs, his name is Kevin. He does a lot of my visuals. I worked with Riley Brown. I worked with DeAndre over Collective Films. I worked with a lot of people, right? So I think now it's kind of just it's a rolling ball, right? Whoever got the capacity and the bandwidth to record at the moment, I'm gonna go with. You know?
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah.
So yeah, you spread the love for real.
For sure.
That's what's up. We talked about a little bit about recording. What type of headspace are you in, like when you're recording like a project? Like you just had your championship album. What type of headspace are you in when you in that mode?
Yeah. The championship was special, man. I think as far as what headspace I'm in, I think I'm me every time I record, right? I think it's, again, like I said, I use the word blissful a lot, man, because I think what I do, man, is just the feeling that you can't really explain it. It's just, it takes over you. So when you're in that zone, it's just, man, you got to go. And I think when we were recording the championship, that was the first time that I had multiple people in the room with me while I was creating. And, man, collaboration goes so far. People don't understand the importance of collaboration. And when we were making that tape, it was a lot of that, right? I was taking a lot of ideas from my friends, and, everybody in the space was aligned with one goal. And I think when creators are aligned with one goal, man, something special occurs. And I think that's kind of what happened with that. I kind of brought them the words, and everybody else kind of created around it. So we had my guy Wavy Joseph on the keys, and he was just hopping in the booth, and just all that was live, right? All live keys, all live instruments, all live vocals. Kalev was a producer for a lot of them. He engineered the whole tape. I had my homegirl Leah Falls. She did a lot of the vocals. I had my other homegirl Rain Ezra come in there and lay down a lot of the vocals, the back end. So again, it was just a collaborative effort, man. And it was dope. It was a dope place to be in. I don't know if we'll ever see that again. I know we'll see something different. But again, it's one of those things, when I listen to that project, man, it takes me back to a special place. And I think when I create and when I release music, I think everything that I release, I want that feeling. Because again, it's blissful, man, and it's timeless. It's timeless. I think that's when I was thinking about creating that tape. It was timeless.
That's dope. Yeah. Hey, you got some slaps on there. Oh my.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that.
Hey, I promise you, I can listen to that album and run it all the way through.
Dope. Thank you, bro. That's
bro,
dope.
real,
I'm glad it sat with you.
For real.
Yeah.
What's your favorite song from the album? What
from
was
that tape?
Yeah.
My favorite song from the championship is With Love, the interlude.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just, I don't know. I was in a different bag creating that. I definitely like how we utilize the claps, and we utilize like the stadium effects. And just as far as like the lyrics, man, they touch home. I make that just talking about my growth as a man, my growth and stepping into being a husband and being a spouse, right? And I think that was very special for me. Yeah, I mean,
what?
So,
You married?
I'm married. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, bro.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I got married last August.
Oh, actually, I did see that.
Yeah,
I did see that. You young.
Yeah, I mean, that's subjective.
It is.
You
It
know,
is.
that's
It is.
subjective. But yeah, I mean, for in the viewpoint of a lot of people, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. And you did it the right way, though. Do you have kids?
I got one on the way. Yeah, I got one on the way.
Oh.
Dang, I got one on the way, man. Yeah, I got a daughter on the way, man. So
A daughter?
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's special.
It is, man. It's a blessing. It's a blessing for sure.
For real. Hey,
Yeah.
like I said, though, you did it the right way. You got married first, man.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate you.
That's what's up, bro.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, it's a new life, man. I love it. But it's again, man, I want to ask for another way. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. Man, That's what's up, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Hey. I'm gonna have to let that sink in real quick. That's dope. But dang, that just threw me off.
Yeah, let me ask you a question, bro.
What's up?
When it comes to this podcasting
Yeah.
stuff, right? This is your creative outlet.
Yeah.
What made you pick it up?
Honestly, I think what made me pick this up for real was God, bro.
Word.
Like I can't remember what type of headspace I was in, bro, but I just knew like I wanted more out of life. And I remember just sitting down, just praying, and I was just like, I'm giving my life to God. Like I want him to be the to guide me pretty much,
Right.
I want when people look at me, I want them to see like, okay, he's a God-fearing individual, you feel me? Like
Word.
that's really it, bro. Like I asked God and he showed me signs, bro. Like, and it's crazy how I started the podcast, bro, because I ain't never told nobody this, and I'm about to air it out. But what had happened was, like I said, I had sat down and prayed about it, and I promise you, I kid you not, like a couple of days later, it was me and the team before it was a team, and we was talking about it. We was like starting a YouTube, whatever. Like we was all just joking around, whatnot. I was like, "What about a podcast?" I was like, "What would it be called? And what would it be about?" And I was like, "I don't really see nobody putting Portland in a good light. I don't see nobody talking about like when people think of Portland, first thing that comes to their head is most likely gun violence now, drugs, homeless, just a dirty place.
Yeah,
you feel me?
Weird.
Yeah, keep Portland weird. Yeah. Exactly.
Right.
And so that's what we was talking about. Like that's what I would want to be about, is just uplifting Portland, the city, and more on the fact of like uplifting the black community.
Right.
Because I feel like the black community really has that negative stigma.
For sure.
And so that was the main thing about it. And then we was just like, what would it be called? What would it be called? And I was just like, I'm so Portland. I just let it. I didn't even think about it. It was just a reaction type thing. So it was like, yeah, bro, this was really just all God, bro.
Come on, talk to him. I love that. Appreciate you for sharing that, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, sir.
But back to you, man.
Yeah. Bar, nigga. Come on.
What you got? I see you could, like you said, you no stranger to collaborating. You be having a lot of people in the studio with you.
Yeah.
And you like to feed off of different people. Who do you see yourself collaborating with in the future?
I got a lot of people I want to work with, right? And I think I got a list, right, of just people I want to get a feature from. I want to collab with. I got some collabs in the works right now. I don't really want to speak too much on them.
We ain't got to.
Yeah, because we talked off camera. But man, I want to collab with anybody in the city that's on the same wavelength as I am. And when I talk about collaboration, I think there's bad collaborations, and I think you can kind of shoot yourself in the foot with a lot of them. If you guys are on the line, as far as like the music, right, and what you talk about them, the energy that you're giving out. So I'm finding them. Little by little, and I think they're coming. They're getting attracted to me. God is showing me who I need to be aligned with and who I need to collaborate with, and who I should stay away from, man. So I think as far as what's coming next, again, I have a few collaborations I'll be announcing soon. But man, I got a couple I got a solo project I'm working on. So my first real the championship was an EP. I got my first real album I'm working on, right? So just creating a longer form project, man, 12 songs. So I'm kind of locked in on that right now. I got a couple things I'm taking care of in the Bay. Yeah, and other than that, man, it's just yeah.
If you don't get the hint, hey.
Come on. Yeah, I'm taking care of a couple things right now.
But
man.
You said what kind of vibes is you giving for the new tape?
I think I need to. I was watching a podcast, man, and somebody had said like, you are your biggest hit, right? Like everything to do with you as an individual and how you portray yourself is your biggest hit, man. I think I have a lot of really good songs, and I think people have kind of got the vibe that I can rap. I got a good message, but now I need a banger, right? I need something people can just turn on and vibe to. So I think that's what I'm going for in this next project, man. It's a little different style that you've seen from me. I think I set the foundation of what I stand for. The person that I am. So now it's just time to create, man. I think I love this space just because I'm not boxed in. You know what I mean? I'm not making. I might cuss a little bit in this one. You know what I mean? I don't do that too much. So, little stuff like that, man. I'm just free, man. Just creating.
So this next one is just all you.
Yeah.
Like, unapologetically you type.
For sure. Okay. And it's no genre, right? I make life music.
Okay.
Yeah, I was actually talking to one of my partners the other day, man, and he was just asking me, what type of music do you make, right? If you had to put your music into a sentence, what would that be? And again, it's just life music, man. And I think one thing that I had kind of responded back with was that I make music that people grow into, not grow out of. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people make music that people grow out of, right? They might listen to a song at 16 that they don't relate to at 30.
Yeah.
But I think my music you won't relate to at 16, you'll relate to at 30. And the older you get, the more it hits, right? And I think, so staying in that lane, but just doing it a little different. Giving people something to rock with, giving people something to vibe with, and playing different settings, right? Like we get radio spins, but I want something that's for the radio. I've never made something for that. So I'm just challenging myself in them areas, and again, it's all different types of genres on this new tape, right? Like,
okay,
yeah,
different kind of genres. What you talking about?
For sure.
What you mean? Some country?
Something like it.
For real?
I mean? Yeah, we got something like it on there.
Okay.
I've been experimenting, man, and just finding my voice. And I think now that I found it, I can I know my pocket, and I can rap to anything, right? So. Yeah.
Hey, that's lit though.
Yeah, for sure. Not necessarily country, you know what I mean, bro. Yeah. I ain't on no super country, but we got a couple of different country samples, and we've been playing with it, man. We've been playing with it.
I feel it though. That's what's up. Yeah, when you said country, you got me by surprise for a second.
Right.
But you said that you just really like to be creative. Is that really what make you tick, or what makes you tick for real? Like, what motivates you? Like, what keeps you going? Like,
man, I think I'm just a driven individual. You know what I mean? I've never been stagnant. I never like to be complacent, and I've always been someone that believes in himself to the highest degree. And I visualize where I can be and where I'm going to be. It's just a matter of trusting God for the route, and I think that's what keeps me going. I'm also God-fearing, and I think that He directs us in the right way, and He guides everything that happens in our lives. So I just kind of go with the flow, man. And I think if you put in the work, the right stuff is going to be presented to you. So that's kind of what keeps me going. I feel like we have to have a purpose as men. We have to always be driven, because if you're not, you know what I mean, you ain't living, right? So. I'm just a driven man, and I feel like I know where my destination needs to be, and I know where it's going to be. So it's just about following that and putting in the work to get there, and I think that's what keeps me going. Of course, my family keeps me going, and I think I have a purpose that's bigger than me and bigger than this. You know what I mean? Just bigger than music. So it's one of them things, I gotta find it. And
what do you feel like your purpose is?
I don't know, man.
You still figuring it out?
Yeah, I think we always figuring out our purpose, right? I think
we evolve.
Once you feel like you find it, that's when it moves, and it gets bigger. You should never necessarily get to your destination on this journey. I think you always have to be in motion. Life begins and ends with the beat of the heart. You know what I mean? So we got to keep going, man. You got to keep going. You can't be can't be complacent.
That's a dope analogy.
When you think you got something, you ain't did shit.
Man, bro, I feel you on that.
Yeah.
100%, bro. Like, even with this podcast, like, this ain't enough.
Right.
You feel me? So it's like.
But with that being
feel you,
said,
though.
right? With that being said, I don't want to take away from the fact. Like I'm big on being where your feet are, right? Be in the moment and be present as you're on this journey. But understand that it's not. It's never going to stop, and the work doesn't get harder. You learn how to deal with hard, better. You know, so.
On everything, so you say you learn how to deal with hard better.
My bad. You learn how to deal with. Yeah, it never gets easier. You learn how to deal with hard better.
Yeah. What are some of the challenges that you had to face starting off, coming up?
Just in life, or music?
Both. You can start off with.
I'll start off with the music. Let's keep it music. I think a huge barrier that I face being in music is being a married man. You know what I mean? I think that's huge in this space. That's something that's very uncommon, and I think it's a specific lane that you have to kind of tap into. So that's definitely a roadblock in some spaces, right? But the spaces I need to be, it's not. So I guess you can call that something that's hard. And I think like every other artist, right, the financial burden, you got to pay to play. You know what I mean? So when you putting all this money and seeing no return, it's hard. It's hard for sure. You really got to believe in yourself. Like it's $20,000-$30,000 that's been put in this with no return. You know what I mean?
Man.
So that's something that you really gotta love, right?
Talk about it.
You know what I mean? So that's a struggle in itself, man. And I think the game just comes with struggles, man. It's not. I know some people say it's no money in this music. It's money in the music, but to get there.
Who said that?
A lot of people. A lot of people say, because a lot of people there's not no money in the music for, right? I think unless you build an infrastructure that makes it that creates a lane for you. Excuse me. Unless you create that, man, it's hard to make money off of it if you trying to make money off streams alone. You know what I mean? But you look at dudes like LaRussell and seeing the infrastructure that he's building, and man, it's capital coming in. You know, so
all indie,
and a lot of people can't do that, and that's why I say the work, man, shows. And
most people can't do that.
A lot of people, it's not for a lot of people. You know what I mean? But I'm on it. I think it's for me. You know what I mean?
I was just about to ask you. You gonna stay indie?
100%. I mean, I'm never opposed to a deal though, right? It just has to make sense, and I think I got a lot of work to do, before I even start shopping around. And I've had people come to me, but I got a lot of work to do.
For real? You have people come to you already?
Yeah, for sure.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
What'd you call it? I seen that you had did a few live shows, a few live performances.
Not bad, bro.
No, you good.
I'm good.
But how was that feeling, getting up there on stage?
I'm a confident individual. You know what I mean? I love the stage. I love the spotlight. So it's always a beautiful feeling, man. I think it's like getting back in the gym, right? It's like it's another day at the office. So whenever I'm on stage, man, it's always a good feeling. I think performing at the Soho, I was the first, I think, rap artist to perform at the Soho. So that was a dope feeling, man. Doing it with a live band, I think that it elevated the performance for sure.
For real?
So yeah, definitely.
That's like your vibe though. Speaking of vibe, who do you feel like you like your sound is like who do you feel like you resemble or resembles you? Like your sound wise,
I don't think I resemble anybody. A lot of people
not
say
even close?
A lot of people say the Nip, and of course, that's to come, right? Because we both kind of tall, lanky, light skinned rappers from inner city.
Yeah,
and I think
from the West.
That was one of my favorite artists growing up. But as far as like my lyrics and the type of music that I make, I don't think it's really nobody out there.
I mean, lyrics for sure, like. Not even close.
Right.
Like y'all not even talking about the same things. But
right.
As far as like I meant like vibe, like
think?
Huh?
Who you think?
That's the first person that come to my mind, honestly.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it real. That's the first person that come to my mind, but other than that, I would say like LaRussell.
LaRussell, word. I never heard that.
It's kind of like he's more hyphy though. That's the only thing.
Like y'all, got a different vibe.
A different vibe, yeah. But I feel like y'all lyrics align though.
For sure. I think He makes life music too, man. He makes
Mm-hmm.
mantra music. He makes music that you can turn on and just vibe to. I think he's gotten to that level to where he can, again, you can turn on the Russell station and be able to turn up, but also get some good food or some good knowledge. So
On everything.
not too many people can do that, you know.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't have that in their bag.
Right.
Yeah. You have collabed with a few people from the town. Who can we expect to see on your next tape?
On my next tape from the town, I'm not sure, bro. I'm not sure. I would love to tell you, honestly.
Oh, you don't got nobody like set up already?
Nah. So I work a lot with my brother, of course, Northside Tego.
Mm-hmm.
I got my partner named DeRoyal. Super dope. I think he's from out your way, Southeast, man. But super dope artist, man. He got a distinct sound.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I want to work with a lot of different artists, but again, I think it just has to align, and people know how to come when they rocking on my joints, right? So I think I do bring out the best in people, but I definitely want to kind of I want to bridge it however I can, right? Like I want to work with all the artists in Portland that are doing something and really taking their craft seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if we can make our visions align and kind of meet in the mid ground with a lot of the music, how we what we talk about and whatnot, I would love to collab with everybody, man. Yeah.
What do you we talking a lot about the Portland scene, different artists and whatnot. Where do you see the Portland music scene going? Like, what kind of goal do you have for the Portland music scene?
I think the West is up right now. I think Bay Area is making a lot of noise. I think they kind of backpacking us, but not necessarily backpacking us, but they're giving us a lane. I think a lot of eyes are on the West. So I think with Portland, we've always had the talent, right? I don't think there's too many places with as much talent as Portland has. But again, we just got to come together and really like push a brand. And I don't think we have one sound. I think we have a variety of sounds that can hit and that can take off. So I just think as everybody continue being themselves, man, I think Portland music scene can be in a very good space in a year's time. You know what I mean? I think we just got to keep this momentum going. I think our OGs are kind of getting to the place where they're kind of finding lanes on how to help us.
Mm-hmm.
And not necessarily saying they've been helping the young artists, but I think the young artists are kind of starting to figure it out and kind of making it easy for them to help us and kind of give us that staircase, right? And I think if we just keep building, man, I think it could be something special.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. I think we definitely do need to come together in some type of way
for
us to really boom. Because when you look at places like the Bay, like they got a sound, so it's like when somebody make a slap, everybody on it.
Right. They got a culture. I think they got a more.
Exactly.
They got a culture out there. But the thing about the sound, man, that's a Portland sound as well. A lot of the OG sound from the Bay Area was produced by Portland producers. You know what I mean? So it's one of them things, man. That's night and day. Not night and day. That's it goes hand in hand, Portland and Bay Area. So I think that's our sound as well. You feel me? And I think we gotta get behind it. But we got such a small sample size of our folks out here that it makes it hard to do so.
Think so?
For sure.
I feel like it's. Are you talking about like just the sound wise?
What you mean?
Like you say, we have a small sample base of
our folks out here.
Oh, just black people,
right?
Oh yeah.
Right, yeah. We got a small. Yeah. We don't got as big as a community as them, right? So it's like we're all spread out as well. Like you say, north, northeast, southeast. Mm-hmm. Don't nobody really rock with each other how they need to be. So it's like when you only a small section of a small community, you ain't gonna make no noise. I think Bay Area they rep that.
Yeah.
Everywhere they go, I'm Bay Area. I'm from Oakland. Everything. I'm from Vallejo. I'm from this. But we got a sound. So every time I hear that sound, it's up. It's like now, like you said, we need a sound, but it's also like that is our sound, and we just got to start supporting each other how they do.
Yeah. Okay. I agree with that too.
I
want to ask you a question. This is a segment I want to start including in on a podcast, and basically I ask. Or I say I'm so Portland, like I'm so Portland that. What do you think follows up for you with that statement? Like I'm so Portland.
That's tough. Let me think on that for a second.
You the first one.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of something only somebody from Portland would know. But that's not like hoop. You know what I mean? Like somebody that a real Portlander would know.
Like I'm so Portland.
I know what you're saying.
I mess with like Jack's Chicken or something.
Right, I know what you're saying.
Something like that.
I'm trying to think of something good though. Give me a second. I like to think on these things, man. I'm so Portland that. Oh, I'm trying to think of something cold. That's hard, man. That's hard. Give me what is yours? Let me hear yours.
I asked you the question.
Come on, look. You reap what you sow, man. I want to sit on it for a second.
I'm so Portland. I remember T. Jones giving everybody buckets.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. We in
you
the
know,
hoop.
I remember, Oh, yeah, you was trying to stay away from hoop.
Yeah. Just so that it's like super universal.
It's tough. I ain't even gonna hold you. We can circle back. Keep thinking about it though.
Yeah, but, let's circle back to that. I don't know why nothing's coming up, man. Nothing's coming up.
But
I'm so Portland that I used to get the spicy chicken sandwiches from Christopher's on the K. That's some Northeast shit too. They gonna be like, oh, this nigga ain't from the Northeast. I still was over there though.
Christopher's.
I don't want to say no North shit for real though. I ain't gonna lie. I don't want to say no North because I ain't gonna know. You know.
Somebody might know.
Somebody might.
You feel me?
I'm so Portland that we used to get in fights at George Park every single day after school.
See.
I'm so Portland. Listen. Oh, I'm lying.
What's up?
I'm so Portland that I was at the scene when Shamrock burned down in the north like 15 years ago. Yeah, I'm so Portland.
You was there for that?
Yeah, we rode our bikes down there. We seen the smoke. We was like, whoa. Nah, that's fire. Yeah, if you're from the north, you're going to appreciate that one.
Typical black people.
Oh, God.
Nosy as hell.
Oh, God. Yeah, that was fire, though.
But back to this music thing, man. What's your favorite song outside of R&B or rap?
Outside of R&B.
Or rap.
Or rap.
Favorite song?
I would say "Ribbon in the Sky" by Stevie Wonder.
That ain't R&B.
Is it?
Stevie Wonder. What kind of music was he making?
I'm saying that's an old head question. Big bro would know. I don't know. I feel like it's like more like
soul?
Jazz or soul. Yeah, like that's not R&B. I feel like R&B is like
okay.
Yeah.
I give you that.
Yeah, that ain't R&B.
That's a little close. But
it's close. It ain't R&B though.
That.
Yeah, it ain't R&B though.
But you talked a little bit about your religion. How much does faith play a part in basically how you live, like your music, your career, just overall?
Right. Faith is huge. I think as a kid, you know, growing up in the church, you got a certain perception of your faith and religion, and I think as we grow old, a lot of us kind of move away from that, and we lose sight of it, right? Because you start to see the flaws within the religions and the flaws within the church, and I think I think I'm getting to the point in my life now where I'm kind of finding it again, and I'm finding the importance of being in the church family. And you know, me and my wife, we just trying to find our church family. And as far as the faith, I've always had faith. I've always had a really close relationship with God. So that plays a huge part in my life in totality, right? And I think with the music, I truly believe I got something to say and I got a message to portray and get across. And I think this is just an outlet that God has gave me to get it out, you know. And I think so to answer your question, is everything to me. I think my faith plays a huge part in how I live every day and what everything that I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, I agree with you too on that first part that you said. You know that you getting bad experiences. You know, and you get your own misconception of churches or
Right.
and whatnot. Because I went through the same thing. You know, like it's a lot of. I'ma just say it, it's a lot. It is a lot of hypocrites in church. You know, tell you one thing, do another type thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of what turned me off of church too. Was that very thing right there.
Right. But then you just gotta realize, man, we humans, right? And I think if you got your faith in a human, you in the wrong space. You know, so I think if you go to church, you got to be very intentional about why you there and who you going for, right? You're not going to listen to the man. You're going there to get a feeling of the spirit, right? And I think if you go in there with that lens, you view it a little differently, right? And
That's a gem.
Yeah, man.
That's a gem.
Yeah,
you gave that some thought.
Come on, nah, you know, again, man, I got a voice, man. We here to use it, so.
Hey, I ain't never thought of it like that.
Yeah,
that's what's up. What?
But everybody got their own journeys, right? So I don't force it on nobody. I don't think nobody should let anybody force it on them. I think you got to find that yourself, man. And if you don't find it yourself, man, that shit, it ain't gonna stick. It ain't gonna stick, man. So just stay on your race, man.
Was you kind of like forced into church growing up? Like you had to?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. And even when I go, like I went a couple months ago, man, it just felt like, again, all that I could think about was the facade of it and like how it's an act essentially. And it's like, man, it's like I couldn't get past it. That's something I'm dealing with right now. You know, just to be super transparent. Yeah, it's like but you have to get past that, and you got to know where your faith stands. And you know.
Yeah.
So,
like,
but I was definitely not forced, but my mom and pops used to take me to the church. Man.
I feel you. Hey, that's why I asked. I feel like that's common too,
right,
within our community.
Right. So,
just because like we know what it looked like if you don't go to church.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
it sets a foundation, man. I think it's dope to grow up in the church, man, because again, it sets that barrier of like, what's going on? Okay, it sets that it sets that foundation for a child, man. I think that's huge. That's huge.
Okay. Last question before I know we want to get on to our little surprise that we got for the So Portland fam, man.
Yeah.
You know, but last question is, what does success look like to you? How do you know you have reached success?
I think that success to me, right, is just a measure of how many people I've helped and how many people I've brought up along the way. It's obsolete, man. I think it's super subjective when you talk about success, especially when it comes to music and just life in general, man. Everybody's mark is different. So for me, again, it's just how many people I can help, man. And I think just leaving behind a legacy of love and not necessarily being selfish in that space and just understanding that it's bigger than me. We're not necessarily special to this space that we call the world, you know, and walking this earth, man. And it's like we just have to, again, just make sure that the energy that we portray out is left for generations to come, right? And I think that's success to me, man. If my kids can look up and be like, you know, great grandfather was this, I love that. You know, I love that, man.
Yeah.
You know, so that's success to me, man. It's just, again, being the best person that I can be and just touching other people.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's really about your legacy that you live on.
For sure. It's about the energy that I leave, for sure. Yeah, man. I always want to be positive and, you know. Yeah.
For sure. Organic.
Come on, organic. It's me. It's really me. Come on.
But yeah, hey, I don't really got no more questions left for
you,
man. Let's get to it.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
We're gonna see if I can remember this joint.
Oh, you try to memorize it?
Yeah, I wrote this shit like 2 days ago. I ain't gonna lie, I've been super challenging myself on that, like just write and try to remember that shit just for, you know, instances that I might have to do that. Yeah. You feel me? So let's do it.
All right, let's get it started.
You can start it.
Let's get it.
Yeah.
I'm feeling this.
Yes, sir. Listen, I think it's time we let the moguls talk. Play Monopoly, control the blocker. Mind well driven, can avoid the loss. Conviction meant to throw us off. Way the risk is how you know the cost. These niggas think it's power cause they know the boss. You not the boss. 50 in the S&P, you know my stock. Heavyweight, everybody gangster till them situations escalate. So let me break it down, shit, let me demonstrate how luck can set the record straight. Yeah, look, first you get the motivation, see it in your face. Then fall a couple times so you can see how that shit shake. Be careful with your demonstration, cause everybody in it for that love. Till they figure out just how to run your race. So go on lapping, nigga, leg work, top 10, but really ain't no rapping, nigga. Go and do the knowledge, they just put us in the Raptors, nigga. They rose it from the ground like I was playing for the Raptors, nigga. Listen,
stop playing.
They say this confidence gon' get us there. Ain't never had the stress, can give a fuck about your string count. Defining your success, see it's a billion at my destination. A legend got a different type of energy. The city finna eat when this shit hit for me. My mama getting out the hood, oh baby, what a blessing. My daughter on the way, so daddy gotta find direction. The game is gon' get it, bring it right up in your section. Cause how the fuck we gon' progress if we ain't never had no lesson? We ain't never seen no love, we ain't never had no proof. But we still gon' make a way, so what the fuck is your excuse? From the city where the roses never grow and the vine put out the root. Your location don't mean shit if you the truth. Nigga facts, remember kicking back and dreaming about these nights. Feel like Stacy on the wood, how I be punching on these mics. They like Varye, been bad. Different than these niggas with them thin bags. If you ain't got no zigzag, no drag. I'm in and out of states, but they'll never find me. I'm just a young nigga with passion, hope they get behind me. If you a legend in your section, you can never lose. I just be doing God's work, I ain't got shit to prove. Just giving back and paying dues, it's Var, nigga.
Talk to him.
Yeah, I like that, huh?
That was hard.
Yeah.
You got some more?
Nah. Yeah, I like it.
Yes, sir.
Hey, that was the first time I had to perform that shit. Let's try it. I want to see what he's talking about. How you feel about it?
Hey, that was heat.
Should we run it twice?
Hey, if you want to run it back.
Yeah.